I'm trying to get that dough. Every day is another struggle. This is my life. So what if my plans that low? Just sit back.
Hi, we are back today with another reaction. I've been wanting to react to this for a while. Mess with Honest. This is his channel. This is his video. Diddy and the careers he's fumbled. The bad boy curse. As we all know, when it comes to Bad Boy and Diddy, it's been a lot of misses. Like, at first they hit, they put their little album, 2 albums out, and then they're nowhere to be found. And then the next 4 years, they're dragging Diddy, saying that he owned their masters and rights and all this other bullshit. So this might be messy. It's almost 10-minute video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, post notifications. Post notifications. I always say post notifications. You don't want to miss what I'm dropping on my channel. I'm doing all type of content. I'm not just reacting to just BTS, just Nicki Minaj. Like, we're doing everything. We're reacting to everything. So make sure you put on the post notifications so you know what I'm dropping, and you like, so I can go up in the algorithm. Like.
If you love us, pay us. Not a token investment, not a charity check or donation. The time is now. Radical change is the only option. You're either with us or you are on the other side. Diddy said this in his message to corporate America about the inequality in pay for black owners on April 8th, 2021. Of course, his statement was in more concern with his own businesses, which I have no problem with in itself. Equal compensation should be the standard for everyone in their respective profession. But this statement is rather shocking coming from Diddy, a man who has notoriously fumbled so many artists' careers, including black artists and creators. The same people who he's championed on to receive equal pay. Well, I think it's past due that he starts taking some of his own advice. And that's not to erase the influence that he has had on hip-hop and R&B. Bad Boy Records is a legendary hip-hop label, and Diddy has been instrumental in so many acts' careers, such as Biggie, Mary J. Blige, Faith Evans, and Usher, just to name a few. He has helped push hip-hop forward,
all legends,
and really built an empire that stood the test of time, at least culturally. Because as successful as Bad Boy Records was, a lot of his artists had financial problems, public label infighting, and alleged bad record deals. There's no way I could go over every single artist that was failed by Diddy and Bad Boy Records, but I will mention some of the most notorious. No pun intended. Starting with Danity Kane. Danity Kane was put together on the popular MTV show Making the Band, a show where they basically round up a bunch of different singers and put them through challenges to see who's best fit for the band. Danity Kane was a result of the 3rd season of Making the Band. The original lineup consisted of 5 members: Aubrey O'Day, Dawn Richard, Shannon Bex, Dee Woods, and Andrea Fimbres. Following the show, they instantly made history, becoming the first girl group to have their first 2 albums debut at #1. They had a top 10 hit called Damaged and seemed to be destined for pop greatness.
That was my shit.
Their story quickly unraveled as soon as it began. They were put together and catapulted to superstardom, seemingly overnight. Naturally, Danity Kane has some infighting, and Diddy felt some of the egos in the group were becoming too big, and he gradually fired or let go of all the members in the group, besides one member named Dawn Richard, whom he would work on other projects with. It's a bit crazy that Diddy would actually dissolve one of his biggest groups at the time, simply because of infighting. Aubrey O'Day, one of the breakout members from the group, said, "There are many factors and there are many reasons why things started to not work, but the breakup came from his mouth." She also said, "Diddy has mismanaged artists and stolen their money his whole career, including Danity Kane."
Wow.
Now, Danity Kane has reunited and broke up a couple of times after being let go of by Diddy, and they release music sporadically. It seems like Danity Kane suffered from some horrible mismanagement, and were one of the many acts affected by the Bad Boy curse. Dream, like Danity Kane, was a relatively short-lived girl group, They are mostly known for their number 2 2001 single, He Loves You Not.
That was
They
my
seem like they were on the
shit.
track to becoming a Y2K teen pop sensation. According to Complex, less than 8 months after their album dropped, Bad Boy halted the promotion of the LP in the wake of the events that occurred on September 11th. In April of 2002, they lost a member due to the member being dissatisfied with the business surrounding it. They gained a new member for their second album, but their lead single called Crazy flopped, prompting the label to drop Dream from the roster and shelve their
Wow.
follow-up project. Their music didn't seem to appropriately fit them. Members swapped out, and ultimately, they disbanded. Mace. Mace is a now iconic rapper, one of the most noticeable rappers to come from Bad Boy Records. He had multiple multi-platinum albums and even wrote songs for Diddy. He ended up retiring out of the blue to become a minister. There was so much death going on around him and he just wasn't happy. In 2020, Diddy gave a speech about the unfair circumstances surrounding black artists at the Grammys, which prompted a response from Maze. Diddy said, in the great words of Erykah Badu, "We are artists and we are sensitive about our stuff. We are passionate. For most of us, this is all we got. This is our only hope," he continued. Truth be told, hip-hop has never been respected by the Grammys. Black music has never been respected by the Grammys, to the point that it should be. So right now with this current situation, it's not a revelation. This thing been going on, and it's not just going on in music. It's going on in film, it's going on in sports. And for years we've allowed institutions that have never had our best interest at heart to judge us. And
Mace has been the most
now.
outspoken though
This speech
out
got a
of
ton of backlash online,
everyone.
with many people claiming Diddy has never had the best interest of black art either. And it prompted a direct response from Mace.
Oh,
I heard your Grammy speech about how you are now for the artist and about how the artist must take back control. So I'll be the first to take that initiative. Also, before we ask of other ethnicities to do us right, we should do us as black people better. Especially the creators. I heard you loud and clear when you said that you are now for the artist.
wow.
And to that, my response is, if you want to see change, you can make a change today by starting with yourself. Your past business practices have knowingly continued. You have purposefully starved your artists and been extremely unfair to the very artists that helped you attain that Icon Award on the iconic Bad Boy label.
Say hello to Webflow. The
No,
world's
I'm not saying hello to nobody. Let me go on and skip this ad. Okay,
Bad Boy label.
back in motion.
For example, you still got my publishing from 24 years ago, which you gave me $20K, which makes me never want to work with you.
20,000?
Artist wouldn't after you know someone is robbing you
Not
and
enough.
tarnishing your name when you don't want to comply with his horrendous business model. However, people would always ask, what's up with Maze? So I'll be forced to still perform to not look crazy when I was getting peanuts, and the robbery would continue. According to Maze, he offered Diddy $2 million for the publishing rights Diddy paid $20,000 for. But Diddy said that Mace would need to match what a European bidder was offering in order to get
Which
his
was
publishing
what?
rights back. Otherwise, Mace will have to wait until the rights revert back to him in 8 years. The
Wow.
Lox. The Lox is a famous hip-hop group with members Jadakiss, Sheek Louch, and Styles P all taking a role in rapping. The Lox are mostly known for their debut album Money, Power, and Respect, their appearance on It's All About the Benjamins. The group arguably had the most outspoken beef with the label. According to Billboard, the Lox and Diddy beef started when they pleaded to be dropped from Bad Boy Records through their orchestrated campaign, Free the Lox, Let the Lox Go, t-shirts and all. Eventually Diddy set them free after the public campaign had gained much attraction, and one of the group members, Styles P, allegedly threw a chair at Diddy. They claimed that Diddy owned 50% of their publishing. Diddy later told Hot 97's Angie Martinez that he owned 20% and has made $400,000 off the Lox, according to All Hip Hop. A rep for the group later refuted Diddy's claims with legal documentation, countering his statement. They would go on to settle their beef and money dispute in 2005. Outside of money troubles or alleged shady contracts, there have been a few acts that complained about not being a priority or their career being stalled. The biggest example of that is the first lady of Bad Boy Records, Faith Evans. Faith is the widow of Biggie and a 90s R&B hitmaker in her own right. How you allow the first lady of your record label to not be a priority is beyond me. She left Bad Boy after her 2001
Think he was
album
more focused on the
faithfully received
rappers. That's probably
minimal
why.
support. The label was changing distributors. My album was sort of neglected. I don't think that's something Diddy intended on. I totally believe
And to
he wanted
me,
me to be as big
Faithfully
as I
was her best
possibly
album.
could,
I know
she
every
said.
song on that
But you
album.
got 10 companies
Her
instead
best
of one.
album.
He realized he was at a point where he couldn't focus
Aside
on my
from her
project
debut.
like I needed him to. Whether there's exactly a true bad boy curse or not in terms of something bad always happening to that act signed to the label, whether that be deaths, arrests, or careers flopping, is questionable. But what is not questionable is the constant complaints that come from acts signed to this once legendary and fruitful label. Diddy has been an essential figure to hip-hop and R&B, but it is incredibly hypocritical for him to demand equal pay and fair treatment for black artists when he isn't even committed to the idea himself. The call is coming from inside the house, Diddy. The call is coming from inside the house.
It's giving hypocrisy. It's giving hypocrisy. I don't know, man. I've heard a lot of things about his business ventures and different shit like that. I feel like when it comes to these artists, they got to start standing up. They got to start going over their contracts. They got to know what they sign in. Make sure your lawyer is present. All types of things. I feel like when these executives come in contact with these so-called artists that haven't even been signed yet, they know that they're hungry. They know that they want money. They're going to sign you for some BS. You're going to end up signing over your publisher rights, and you're going to end up signing the 360, and you're not. It's just a whole bunch of bullshit that goes into it, but it's unfortunate. The only way you can kind of stop it is, I guess, don't sign, which is kind of tough for somebody who's in a position where they don't got no money. Not signing sometimes they feel like it's not an option, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you know when I'm dropping another video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.
Done it all, been through it all. I walked over the motherfucking fire with sandals. Gonna burn your feet